The officials in the ASEAN Plus 3, or if we want to expand the area, is emerging East Asia. That's what we call. It's a lot. And I think we have to understand what's the background. And by understanding the background, we can eventually also talk about what's the future of what we are talking about here in terms of the development of bonds market in the region. I think the key word is double mismatch. And what happened is that pre-Asian financial crisis, many of these countries suffered from the double mismatch, maturity mismatch and currency mismatch. And precisely because of that, there was a strong fear, very significant fear among the policymakers, because we are talking about the official side here, among policymakers not to repeat that. The answer is bonds market. So by going into the long-term kind of an investment, you remove the first maturity mismatch. By moving towards local currency, you remove the second mismatch, which is the currency mismatch. Now, having said that, I think one of the previous speakers correctly mentioned that when we look at the region, it's almost like watching a movie with two sequels. The first sequel is pre-Asian financial crisis, pre-1997. This is regions of excess investment. How did we do it? Well, because we borrow abroad, short-term unhedged. That brought down Asia into crisis in July 1997. What is the sequel number 2 of this movie? Completely the opposite. Now we are talking about a region with excess saving. Why and where does most of the excess saving go? Unfortunately, as the previous speaker mentioned, many of this excess saving goes outside the region. Now this is very ironical from the official side. This is the regions with a huge deficit of infrastructure. I'm not talking about only physical infrastructure like road, bridges, and so forth, but also social infrastructure, health, education. So the biggest challenge, and this is realized very fully by all the officials in the ASEAN Plus 3, is how to make sure that the excess saving stay in the region. Bonds market is the answer. And this is the reasons why if someone asks me, what do I think about bonds market in ASEAN Plus 3 in the future? No doubt it will go increasing even more than what the chairman mentioned. Another example, very recent, last May this year, among the three, China, Japan, Korea, they agreed that they can use some of their excess foreign reserves, because we are talking about regions with huge excess foreign reserves. They agreed that they can use some of the foreign reserves for the local currency bonds market among themselves. So this is just one example, but there are plenty. There's a whole list of activities that the official in the regions has been doing. And then also between Korea and China, there is an agreement that they can settle the payment, the bonds trading, without going through the US dollar. So that's another example. So there's plenty of things that is being done, but it's going to do even more in the future. Why? Because of the background that I mentioned. There was a very strong fear that there will be repeat of the double mismatch pre-1997.